honestly don't know exactly what I said, but I was hyped up for him. It was funny because we had some plays designed for him to score but if you would have told one play I didn't think he was going to score on, it was that one. But it was cool to see. I mean, everybody was excited for him. Luckily, he didn't run out of bounds. He was getting close there on the sideline. I actually heard him as the route was going on, going, "Hey!" because he was wide open. So that helped me out a little bit.
Play design, or just kind of a stray thing that worked out?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's obviously in the play design. It's like the fifth read, so he was kind of the distraction guy, trying to bring kind of guys over, and then I wanted to kind of go flat to the stick route to the over to Kels, and then I heard him yelling, and I was like, man, who's yelling at me over there? I looked over, and he's wide open. So he was going like the last read in that play, but in this offense, that last read might be open sometimes. So you got to stay ready for it.
Why do you think it's come so easy for him, or seemingly so far here in KC?
Yeah, I mean, first off, he's a smart guy. I mean, he learned a lot fast, and we've been able to put him in positions, especially a lot more this week. But he's a smart guy. He plays hard, and whenever he's got his opportunities, he's made plays happen. And this offense is, like I said all year, it's going to be everywhere. And I think you saw that again today. Guys stepped up and made plays happen, and that's the special part about this offense.
Following up on that, obviously last week, the Sunday night game, MVS only had one target, one catch. Today, he got his first touchdown pass of the Kansas City Chiefs. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I was excited for him because he's made a lot of big plays happen, and I felt like I've kind of not underthrown, but underthrown him enough that he hasn't had some of these big play touchdowns that you expect from him. And so for him to another play where he's not necessarily the first read, but working his way, getting himself open, and making a play, I'm excited for him because he's kept it going. Even though he's not scoring touchdowns, he's making himself ready and available, and I mean that's a big part of this offense.
Do you subconsciously sometimes think that you need to force it to him to try to give him a touchdown to keep him involved in the game and stuff like that?
Yeah, I tried my best this year to not try to do that. I let Coach Reed call the plays, Coach Bieniemy call the plays, and I let the game come to me. And I think that's helped me be even more efficient this year. And now if I can just stop throwing dumb fourth quarter interceptions, I'd have some good games.
Patrick, what do you think of the hit on Juju?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. Obviously, I don't think there was like any ill intent from the player. I mean, he's just trying to knock the ball loose and do stuff like that. But obviously there was some helmet-to-helmet contact, and we want to get that out of the league as much as possible for player safety. So if we can review that and kind of make it to where there can be some type of penalty or something, I mean, obviously you want to get that stuff out of the league as much as possible.
Can you clarify, do you mean to make that reviewable, or do you just mean?
No, I don't. It's so hard in this league, man, because these guys on defense are playing too. They're trying to do their best to stop us. But I mean, by the rules, I mean, if it's helmet to helmet, it's supposed to be a flag, and I know that guy wasn't trying to, and I know it's a bang call that doesn't always go your way, but you want to do your best to try to get that stuff out of the league so that we can have those guys out there playing and being safe.
You talked to Juju after the game.
In the game, you got to hand off the ball a little bit too much and get more involved in the game. Looked like he was the key guy at running back. As opposed to last week, now with this week having him help out, how much help was that?
Yeah, he stepped out and had a big game. I mean, especially. You'd like to see guys respond. I mean, he was running the ball really well in that first drive and had the fumble. And some guys can shut it down. And we kind of went right back to him, let him keep running it, and he stepped up. And so that's a great running back room. We got a lot of guys that play well. And when the offensive line is protecting like they were doing today and run blocking like they were, that makes our team really, really hard to stop.
From where Pacheco was in camp and OTAs to where he is now, even early in the season to where he is now, are you surprised he's made that kind of progress? I mean, has that been more than maybe you expected at this point in the season for him?
Not really. I mean, he's a smart guy as well. This offense is hard, especially on that running back position, to learn because you have to do all the protections, you have to do all the routes, you have to run the ball, and we have different type of run schemes. And so for him, he has all the talent in the world. So now he's just going to continue to get better and better as he learns those little tricks of the trade to kind of go out there and make stuff happen. Where you might this read might not be exactly how it was scouted during the week, but how can I make this run work? And as he gets more and more reps, he'll get even better.
Patrick, have you seen Juju after the game or at halftime? You get a chance to talk to him yet?
Yeah, I got to talk to him. I mean, obviously it was scary when you're out there, but I mean, we saw him after the game. He seemed perfectly normal. I mean, it's just he'll. I'm sure I don't want to say anything about the injuries. He'll sure have to do something to get himself back available for us, which is, I mean, the right thing to do. But he seemed like he was his normal self, giggling around, joking around, and stuff like that. And let's just take precaution and get him back healthy as fast as possible.
Threw a flag and picked it up on that play, and then on On the interception you threw, they threw a flag for roughing and picked it up. Did you get an explanation on why they picked that one up?
The roughing one wasn't roughing, so that's probably why. But I wish it was, so I didn't have an interception, but it wasn't. The one where he got the helmet to helmet, I believe they were saying something about he was leading with his shoulder. But I mean, I know those guys aren't trying to helmet hit guys. I mean, we've preached that in this league, and we've tried to take care of each other. We want to play hard and compete, but we're trying to take care of each other out there on the field. But I mean, from the review, it looked like it was helmet to helmet. So I'm sure they'll review that, they'll make their changes, and come back better next week.
You don't often see teammates kind of insist on helping an injured teammate off the field, but it looked like Marquez and Travis kind of insist on helping Juju to the sideline. What went into that moment?
Yeah, I mean, we have a brotherhood here. I mean, it's been fast because there's been a lot of new guys, but I think these guys we're all best friends. I mean, we're doing stuff together every single day. We're playing Call of Duty at night. We're guys that we want to go out there and compete with each other, and be the best that we can be. And so to see that, I mean, it just tells you that these guys love each other out there on the field, and we'll go out there. We're gonna go down fighting together.
Patrick, I talked to Orlando this week and asked him how he thought he's been doing against some of the great players that he's playing up against this week. I don't think they give up any sacks. Talk about your offensive line play.
Yeah, I think they've accepted the challenge these last few weeks. I mean, even last week, whenever there were sacks, there was more coverage stuff. It wasn't on the offensive line. I was holding the ball too long and stuff like that. And that's another great defensive line we faced today with first-round draft picks, guys that are big, fast, physical, and they did a great job running and pass protecting. So I think as the season goes on, offensive lines, especially with the rules in training camp, they get better and better. At least the really good ones do. And I think you see in our offensive line as the season goes on become that elite group that we all expected.
Patrick, it seems like just a little more on Kadarius. This is about as fast as you've developed a rapport and a trust with somebody. And I know you spoke to it a little bit, but what's the biggest challenge for him to be able to do what he's doing? And for you to trust him like this already?
I think the biggest challenge is, I mean, I don't know if it's a challenge. I think it helps that he was kind of in a similar offense in New York. I mean, Kafka's there, so he understands some of the words, and it kind of clicks to him about stuff like that. But, I mean, ever since he's been here, he's got to be in that facility just as much as I have. I mean, he's making sure he knows the splits. He's making sure he knows exactly the route combinations, the different audibles that we have on the offense. And I mean, when you have a guy that's that talented, that wants to learn and get better and better, those are those special players that you want on your team.